With Texas West Capital. It is just after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Tuesday, the 29th of June, 2021, here in beautiful Boerne, Texas. But the house is not so beautiful at the moment. AC went out yesterday. Man, oh man, you don't want that happening here in the Texas summers. But anyway, we'll get that fixed. Finally, they'll be able to get that fixed a little bit later today. But because of that, this may be a little bit shorter. We may be done in an hour instead of 2 today, because I've got to keep everything closed off in here to keep the noise out. Then it gets hot. So my apologies ahead of time, guys, and as well as if you can hear the fan going on over here. I got sitting over here so you guys don't see the sweat coming down here. Let's see, who's here already? Mark's here. What's up? Cue the action. Evolution Data. Brian Riley. Hank is here. He's gonna say hi, but to be fair, he'll be watching the game. That means he won't tell us that that the dollar's gonna go down to the mid-80s, right? Just kidding there. Oh man, I hate to hear that, Mark. Hey, man, I'm such a man. I'll tell you what. At this stage of my life, man, I enjoy my air conditioning. Hey there, Mason. Good to see you. And Niles is here as well. Let me see here. Oh, there goes Hank with the mid-80. I shouldn't have said anything. Anyway, hey, listen, guys. I put a code up there. It's you can scroll to the beginning of the stream there. It's 50% off Tier 3. Use it while you still can. Get yourself an annual subscription to the Tier 3 level here with what we do at TWC. Get access to everything we do. You get 3 live streams a week. On Mondays, we do Wyckoff. On Wednesdays, we do tips, tricks, and techniques, which shows you all these great ways to find entries and, you know, rules-based systems to get into trading, even if you've never done it before, because there's rules. Follow the rules, trade, you're good, right? And then, of course, Elliott Wave on Thursdays. So, you know, maybe I'm feeling myself a little bit here, but I'll tell you what, probably the best bit of money you'll spend if you're serious about becoming a trader. You're not going to find better information about trading anywhere else online, guys. I'll tell you that much right now. So, we'd love to have you with us. We got an amazing group of people, traders in our community. And I'll tell you what, you know, you don't even have to believe me in what I say and how great it is. The fact that they pretty much all stay well over a year and a half, 2 years, that should tell you something. You know, if it wasn't what I say it is, there's no reason they'd be continuing month after month with us, right? So take advantage of that discount while you can, guys. Once it's gone, it is gone. And I'll tell you what, man, I can't promise it'll ever be back. But what I'm thinking about doing, as long as we continue having interest in this, is we'll keep it going. And maybe, just maybe, if you've purchased with that discount, depending on how much interest we get with it, I may be able to let y'all next year, if you want to continue, if you want to remain with us, for the same low price. So this is something I'm trying to do. Something I've been trying to do is get these prices lower and lower for you guys while we still add more and more. Ask anybody that's been there with us for the last few years. Ask them how much we've added over the time. It's crazy. Let me see here. Mason, you live in Texas as well? AC is definitely a must. Yes, it sure is. That is sure. Let me see here. JP, what's up, man? Good to see you, buddy. Black Man's Guide to Bitcoin showing up here as well. Man, my eyes are getting so bad. Hey, Diego, what's up, man? It's freezing and chilly right now. I'd be happy. Man, I bet you I would. Man, I would. What I wouldn't give for some nice cool air right now. That's for sure. Hey there, Crypto Critical. Good to see you guys. So, yeah, so you do it right here, howtotradetowin.com. We'd love to have you joining us. I'm sure everybody else would as well. Diego, man, I'll tell you what, he had an amazing chart that he shared with me yesterday and asked my opinion on it. And I say amazing because it looked very, very, very similar to mine as far as Wyckoff goes. Man, you know, tell you what, guys, you come on in. It's not just me. Our members are doing great things in there, and they've got great charts to share with you as well and discuss and all that fun stuff. So jump on in there. Bitcoin. Bitcoin. What's it doing, right? Come to Cape Town. It's freezing. Is it really? Oh, it's crazy, man. We're you know, it's like 80 plus inside here right now, and in this room, as big as it is, it's still even more because everything's closed off. So yeah. Michael, what's up, man? Really enjoying your Tier 3 membership. Took a little profit this morning using Wednesday's 15-minute stochastic tip with manual stop loss. Thanks. Awesome, man. I love to hear it. Fantastic. Yeah, we do so much great stuff, guys. But you know what I think it is? I think it's just because I really love doing this, man. I love meeting y'all. And, again, I keep telling you guys, everybody thinks you have to be altruistic to do good in the world. But, man, it's not true. I do this stuff because it makes me feel good. Right here, man. It makes me feel good when somebody tells me, man, you know what? I finally got it. I understand what you're saying. And, oh, my gosh, it's changed my life as far as my trading goes. And they start talking. They show me screenshots of the profits and whatnot. And so, I don't have to be altruistic. I don't have to do it just because I want to help you. I do it because helping you, when you get it, makes me feel good. And that's a benefit to everybody, right? So, yeah. Hey there, what's going on? I cannot even read. What is that? ESCLT? I'll just call you S. ES. Just see you there. Let's see here. Mason says, in his mind, if Bitcoin tests the red line properly, it would put in a small. Oh, you would put in a small long up to 39 to 40. Close it and probably set up a short for the pullback. Yeah, so this line right here, this is the Wave 2 channel here. And so if you're doing Elliott Wave, you draw it from Wave 2. I can't put it out of the way here. Wave 2 to Wave 4. And then you pull it back here to Wave 3. Now, I just got this here, so I didn't have to draw the whole channel in there. But this is what you would do here. You just kind of do it like this. And then you pull back here. You see how well this works here as resistance and support? It's a pretty good channel. Even the dip here. Look at this dip, this final drop here, right off the EQ area. And now we're trying to break out. And locally, we're getting expanding volume in larger candle spreads. And this is what you want to see when you see a breakout, guys. If you've got a breakout of any kind of pattern, range or something, a channel, anything like that, you want to see your candle spreads getting progressively larger, and you want to see your volume expanding. The volume expanding tells you that there's more and more interest, so more and more money is coming in as prices rising in this case, okay? Because price is going up here. The expanding candle spread, where the candle spread's getting larger and larger, tells you that demand is outpacing supply more and more. So not only is there more interest, but of that interest, more and more of it is demand rather than supply. And so that's why you want to see these expanding candle spreads and expanding volume when you're breaking out. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to be, that it's not going to be a fake out. But this is about the best way you can all but guarantee it. So, again, there are no guarantees in trading. But if you're looking for that, and I'll bet you nobody's ever told you guys that, have they, other than me? Because you got to understand, man, most of the people out there that are trying to get you to send them money because they got some system that works real good. Stupid stuff, don't do that, man. The system may or may not work. And if it does work, it may only work for them. Because of what makes them a trader or investor. This is what I keep telling you guys. As new traders, you often come in here looking for somebody to tell you where to buy and sell. But the problem is, they're going to tell you where to buy or sell based upon the things that make them who they are as traders and investors. Which is not the same thing that makes you. They've got a different wealth position, a different, financial position. They've got different short, mid, and long-term wealth and financial goals. They've got different levels of risk tolerance or risk aversion. They've got different times that they can actually trade. They've got different times that they want to trade. All these things these things tell you who you are as a trader investor, guys. And you have to understand that so you can develop a system that works for you. I keep talking about something. I keep harping on it. Most traders come in and they're only concerned about that single trade they're in at the moment. And then they go find a different trade and just that trade. If you guys spent more time developing a system and then concentrating on the system that works over time, consistently over time, you're going to get a lot further ahead than working, just one trade and then just another trade and whatever like that. Because you leave it all into the system. The system takes care of it. Absolutely have to learn that, guys. All right? Let me see here. On what time frame are you asking me? On this time frame right here, the 4 hour. Look at this. Look at this 4 hour volume here. That's where. Hey there, Spiral Architect. Good to see you. That's right, Mason. The only thing you control in the market is how much you lose. You got to understand that, guys. Risk management, most important thing you'll ever learn as a trader, all right? So we kind of hit the kind of, this is really kind of where I was looking for it to go up here, 36,787. We stopped about 300 and somewhat dollars short of that. Price could still continue pushing up there. I think maybe we've got this as a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives us a 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this right here becomes this ending diagonal as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I think it may be done on that. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But if it continues going up here, I would look for it to go to 36,787 and potentially even all the way up here to the R1 pivot at 37,348. Now, you notice I've still got the black count. I've still got the red count because there's nothing going on here that says it's one or the other. Now, we have the big range we've been looking at. And then we've also kind of got this local range here, right? And so we've broken out above this last attempt to rally prior to this area down here. So on the larger, I'll zoom out in a minute. On the larger one, this is potentially a spring. And what we need is a breakout above this level, which we got. And we need price to kind of really stay above it. We really want price to stay above it. Otherwise, this becomes potentially an upthrust here locally. Because locally here, you've got what becomes your preliminary support here. Bounces up, comes down. You got your selling climax. You got your secondary test, your pull through, your upthrust here. You move down, secondary test down here. And then you get this, and this could potentially just be this upthrust after here that fails to continue higher. And so then you get this breakdown here and continues down. So nothing here has happened yet that says we definitely are one way or the other. In terms of pivots, if we're just looking at trading pivots here, if we had broken up through the bottom of the pivot, then that would be pretty bullish. But we moved in sideways between the pivot and the R1. So that leaves us, this is kind of, when you move in sideways between the pivot and the R1 or the pivot and the S1, it's, you have to see what happens now. Does it continue beyond the R1? If it does, then you're good to go most likely all the way up through R5. Here. If it drops down through the pivot though and starts heading, then you're probably going to drop through the S1 pivot and head on down. So this is kind of like this no man's zone here because we moved in sideways between the pivot and the R1 and we didn't just break up through the pivot. Again, breaking up through the pivot would have been bullish. This sideways is just, well, now we have to see, does it pull back and continue up through that R1 pivot? In the grand scheme of things, guys, whether you're looking at Elliott Wave or anything else, really what you want to see if you're bullish is if we have a pullback, you want to see it find support around the pivot area here. If it can come back in this pivot area and then rally above this swing high, it doesn't guarantee that it's not still doing, a corrective move here. But it adds a lot of confidence to that that bullish black count, which says this is the bottom here, and this is 1, and this is 2, and then this basically is 1, 2 of 3, right? So 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives you a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see what I'm saying? And it takes you above this swing high up here. This is where you need to get above this 41,341 and 80 cents here on Kraken. You got to get above that. As long as you're below that, there's still the possibility, especially if this remains in 1, 2, 3 waves, that this is just corrective. This is 1 of the 5th wave. This is 2. And you have 3, 4, 5 still to come to those, at 23, 24,000 area initially. All right? So I'm showing you this because, again, the Elliott Wave count is a little bit difficult because of this movement here. You could be looking at a leading diagonal here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that 3 is pretty small, and so is that 5, so it's questionable. You could be looking at a 1 and potentially a 2 as a flat here, then heading up. And again, you could be looking at a WXY here. So this is an ABC, and then ABC, so W and then X, and then you would have A, B, C as Y. See, so there's still some possibilities here until we really kind of get above that swing high. But right now, either way, when we get a pullback, we just want it to, to get no lower really than this pivot area. You want to see that reversal off that and head up. Because at least then, if you get this pull back to here, then you've at least got this, this movement probably up here to around, maybe about, I'd probably say this 39,000 area at least. So, if we get a pullback here, it hits this pivot area and breaks back out above, you're probably good at least to 39. Because if this is Y, this would be A, B, and C for that Y, and then it would turn around and head down. But again, if it continues up here and breaks above that swing high, you should be good to go. Bottom is in. All right? Let me see here. I don't believe that answered my question, which more directly was if it mattered that on longer time frames the volume is contracting. All right, so let's go into the hourly here. This is what I'm talking about right here. See, you're watching the soccer game, you're not paying attention. The breakout here, this breakout is on expanding volume and expanding candle spread. That's what I was talking about. I'm not talking about this right here afterward. But what I'm looking at here afterward is you're getting decreased volume on overlapping small doji candles, which usually suggests this is just a pullback. But what I was talking about was this right here, the larger candle spreads as you're breaking out through the descending resistance and the expansion of volume that accompanied it. So yeah, there you go. Stop watching your soccer, man. Pay attention. But yeah, but at the end of the day, guys, I'm telling you right now, everything, no matter how you're looking at this, as long as price remains above this pivot, it's you can look at potentially higher highs still coming in. All right? I got to give you a hard time, Hank. Especially when you ask for it like that. But anyway. So, yeah, this is kind of your thing here, what you're looking at. If you're dropping below that, especially if you're moving impulsively below that. And what I mean, again, is the same idea. Larger candle spreads, expanding volume, dropping through this pivot here. This 1 hour and 4 hour pivot, they're right around the same area. To me, if that happened, if we were to close below it on that kind of thing, I would really be cautious about further upside. If you're getting that impulsive breakdown below that pivot, it means probably that the top's in and you're heading lower, but you still need to get below this swing low here. But that would be a big warning that you're probably headed lower. All right? Let me see here. Welcome back, Mark. I'm sure your dog's happy you walked him. Football, soccer is for suckers. All right. So that's kind of what we're looking at, guys. And so, again, I know you got people out there that are still trying to guarantee you the price is going to go up or it's going to go down, and that's just stupid. I hope you guys understand that. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. We have ideas, and we may be right, we may be wrong. But to sit up there and say, oh, I guaranteed it, and I got it right, so that means I'm smart, is just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You see what I did there? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because if you think that you're so special because you guessed right, and that means you can guarantee because you're just that good, then you're an idiot. I mean, seriously. And this is something you learn as you trade over time, guys. I'm kind of joking and half joking here about it, but the reality of it is, as a trader, you have to become comfortable with not knowing for sure what's going to happen, because that's life, man. That's trading life. That's why risk management is so important. There is nobody trading right now, it's been trading for 10, 20, 30 years, that does not utilize strong risk management. You can't do it. You absolutely cannot do it. You guys have to pay attention to that. You have to understand that. You have to get it right in here so that way you work at it. And I'll tell you what, again, been doing this for a quarter of a century now. I have, and I still work on my risk management. I still try to make it better, because every dollar less that I can lose, or every pip less that I can lose, is more profit for me. I don't know everything there is to know about trading. Nobody does. Peter Brandt doesn't. Peter Brandt's really good with one type of trading, classical charting. But even with that, as he's told you guys, risk management is still king, because you're going to be wrong. It's just the way it is. You got to be comfortable with it, all right? That's right, Mark. The more you know, the more you realize how little you know. That's right. Exactly. Let me see here. Is that Adam? I'm sorry. I have bad eyes, so I have a little bit of trouble reading right there. It looks like Adam says, checking in from the UK. Good to see you, man. Oh, you joined Tier 3 last week? Very cool, man. Glad to have you here. He says, still watching videos. A lot of info, too little time. Well, that's because, you know, we've been doing it for so long, and so you've got all this great stuff that you have access to. So even if you haven't been a member with us, you know, since we've been in, we'll be, by the way, we'll be 4 years old here, guys, in September. It's coming up, which is why I'm doing this special I'm doing right now. But yeah, man, you know, we've got so much education that I've done since then that you have complete access to as a Tier 3 member. It's amazing. Anything you want to learn, basically, yeah, more or less, we've got in there. And if it's not in there yet, it's probably coming. So, yeah, tons of stuff. So anyway, yeah, so I mean, this is kind of where we are, guys. If I zoom out here, let me show you my my larger Wyckoffs, what I'm looking at here. I'm thinking this, man, I'm telling you, the spring and secondary test here, potential spring and secondary test really, really, really have me thinking that this just might be accumulation here. I mean, not only that, but you've got this decrease overall in volume, right? So overall volume decrease, right? You got here, you know, come on, you know, it just kind of continues going down. And that's, remember, that's what I've told you. In accumulation, this is what you want to see. If it's a distribution, many times you're going to have a lot more spikes of volume along the way. So there's not this clean, you can even do it like this. This nice, clean, lower and lower volume overall here. These spike right here, a little bit, not really what I want to see here, but again, then we got this. And so what we have is this large drop down with this high volume, this drop below this, the range low here, and then this large wick, this demand wick here. And then when it comes back down to retest this area, look at how much the volume drops off. We go from this to this, and that's what you want to see. And you want to see that because you've got all this interest, show me volume, all this selling interest going in here, judging by the volume. And then when it gets another chance to come back down at it, almost non-existent, which tells us supply is likely exhausted at this point. And if it is, price should be able to head on up. And like I said, we wanted to see the breakout here, and we want to see price kind of stay above as much as possible this last attempted rally before the spring, and we've got that now. Well, we've got it there. It looks like we're still trying to push higher. So there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of bullish potential with this. And I think those that are very bearish right now may end up having a very hard time. Either they miss their opportunity to get in here or here, and will continue to miss it until it breaks out above here. Or they're short, which is even worse, and they're just losing more and more money as this thing continues to move up. So, you know, that's kind of where we are with that right now. Let me see here. Michael, what's up? He says, so much info, it's like drinking from a fire hose. I love it, man. I love it. But, you know, again, you don't have to watch everything, though. If you're smart, you will at some point. You know, that's why you get in with this really cheap Tier 3 membership here with that coupon code there. And you've got an entire year, 365 days to go through it all, plus everything else we do. Remember, we're adding 3 hours a week of educational content for Tier 3. Every one of those sessions is archived, and they're available for everybody to look at. Got a Mark, what's up, buddy? Good to see you checking in. Darren, what's up, my man? Darren is regular toaster there on Discord, if you guys are there. He says, yeah, oh, man, yeah, he's talking about BSQR. So this is a great stock that really popped up today. It's up about 130%. At the height this morning, just today. It's up about 200% from the low just over about a month and a half ago. So what he's talking about is at the end of April, I put in a chart there where we were saying, okay, well, the pullback is probably nearby, you know, looking like it's going to reverse soon. And it did. And like I said, you know, it went up a bit and pulled back, whatever, but then this morning is this huge move up. So anybody that got in around that bottom area there is up potentially 200%. this morning. And you might go, oh, but that's a month and a half ago. That's trading, man. It's getting in at the bottom and not having to try and FOMO in when you got these huge 100% candles. That's the problem, guys. Can we talk about that for a minute? New traders are over here, and they're often fumbling around, and they're trying to jump into these trades where we already have these big, huge candles, right? And, you know, not even FOMOing in up, but FOMOing in on their selling here. They sell down here. And then this thing takes off without them because their selling here was fuel for the longs to go. And they end up SOL, man. You know, and so the goal of what we do here at TWC is we try to find these lows for you. And that way, and we try to do it with enough time. We generally try to do it if we can, at least a month's lead time, if possible. And that way you have a chance, you know, because not everybody's on every day. Not everybody, you know, sometimes life gets in the way and you come back in. And I want you guys to be able to have opportunities that you can look at and take some time. You don't have to just jump in right away. You can let go, does that make sense to me? Does it look good? Where do I think I want to enter on that? And that way you can enter in low and just let everybody else do the work of rallying you higher. You just sit back and collect the profits. But yeah, man, that was another great treat, another great trade. We do that all year long, guys. Stocks, cryptos, Forex. You know, I've been on a roll here the last few weeks, kind of trying to make more time to trade some Forex. And I've been putting my trades. I've been almost religiously trading the USD CAD pair. And I mean, like right now, you know, the current long I'm in's up 60 pips right now. For those of you that don't know, on the USD CAD, let me see here. USD CAD. So if you're putting in, if you're controlling 400,000 there on the USD CAD, that would only cost you, let me see if I can find it here real quick. That would only, you would only need about 8,000, just $7,999.26 to control 400,000. Now that may not mean anything to you if you don't know what Forex is, but what that means is every pip is worth $32.31. So that means if you had entered when I entered here and you were up where I'm at right now, about 61 pips or so, that's about $1,980 or so. All right? $1,980. $1,980 on the trade with just having $8,000 there to get it into position. It's easy in that way, you know, because you're controlling a lot of currency with a little bit because of the leverage thing that they do. But I've been posting those on there, and like I said, so up 60, that you know, if you're up there around 60, 65, I mean, you're up there around $2,000 already off that. Do that a few times a week. How happy would that make you guys? Heck, do that once a month. How happy would that make that? How happy would that make you? And if you've been following me for the last 3 weeks, the first week was gangbusters, man. Almost 400 pips, right? So think of 400 pips at just that, right? And then last week, I didn't have a lot of time. I was doing a lot of other stuff with work. Traded a few times. Didn't really do much. And then this week, I've been able to get in a few trades, you know, and so we're up here again. I lost a few pips on the Euro USD short I was trying to get. I thought it was going to have maybe a little bit higher to go. It didn't. But USD CAD, man, back in there, that's my bread and butter right now. That's making stupid money. But if you've got even more money, you know, if you've got 10 times that, so if you're running about 80,000 instead of 8,000, I mean, all of a sudden each pip is not 32, it's 320. So 320 times 60 gets you around $20,000. So just, you know, again, it's if you don't understand Forex, you know, it can be very powerful if you know what you're doing. So yeah. Let me see here. Let me kind of catch up with you guys here. Mark, oh yeah, it was the IBQ. Yeah, that was in hot takes. By the way, guys, if you come into TWC there in Tier 3, pay attention to the Hot Takes channel, Hot Takes discussion channel. We've got people like Darren and Telluride and a few others in there that are constantly keeping up with a lot of these trades because, you know, at times we have a ton of trades out there and they may take a little bit to get going. So, you get in there and you contribute and watch a few as well, man. And then, that's the benefit of what we're doing there. We've got a lot of great traders, so we got a lot of good eyes paying attention to help you figure out, is it getting ready for something to maybe break out or not. Really, really great stuff, guys. I think it's one of the big things that we've got going for us here at a TWC. If no one would buy the candle, who would create the rally? What are you asking about there, man? Are you just saying? I'm not sure what your point is there. Help me understand, and I'll try and answer your question. I don't want to take a guess here. I don't, because then I'll probably sound stupid because I totally misunderstand your question. Let me see here. Common Man likes the latest daily candle on Bitcoin. Says looks pretty good. Expecting heavy resistance around 40K. Yeah. As you're getting up here, we're starting to kind of get into this area. Just look sideways here. You got all this congestion right here. So we're going to have to make it up through this. As you get through this, and then you start getting up here, and then you have 40, and 40 becomes this kind of top area up here. So there's congestion still to make it through. But, again, breaking out of this this channel, is yeah. And if this is the bottom here, by the way, we got a 1-2. Wave 3 is going to be up here near this swing high up here in that 41,000 kind of area. So, there's further upside. Whether you're looking at it potentially as a wave Y, as a WXY here, correction for wave 2, 1, 2. Or if you're looking at this here as a 1, 2, and then working on a 3 up here. So, yeah. Let me see here. Hank says, Wyckoff is all hot now. Yeah, again, this is what, the third cycle of Wyckoff hotness since 2017? It's like the third time crypto Twitters got really excited about Wyckoff, and still nobody's really taken the time to understand it, to really learn it. You just got to be careful out there, guys. What's up, Bill? Good to see you as always. Yeah, I was up 200 pips. Yeah, PIPS. Yeah. Almost 400 there a week ago. So, yeah, but that was good because that was good getting in the trend. It was getting in the bottom of the trend. It's what we do, right? At TWC, right, Darren? We get in at the bottom of the trend as much as possible. It's the easiest way to trade, guys. But some of y'all, as new traders, you get really anxious and you get nervous. You get bored. And so you maybe get in at the bottom and you're waiting and you're tired of sitting around waiting because you see other things taking off and you get envious. So you jump out, you lose a little money on your trade that you're in so you can jump in at the top of something else that was going up. And then you lose money on that trade only to turn around and watch the trade you were in take off. This is why I tell you guys, I often get people asking me, well, how long is it going to take? At what time do you think it's going to get there? What day do you think it's going to get there? I don't care. I really don't care, guys. For me, it's all about the structure. And the longer it takes, the longer this phase B plays out in a position, the further it's going to go when it breaks out. There is a direct correlation here between how wide this is, phase B is, and how far price goes once it breaks out. This is part of something we'll be teaching Tier 3 members on these Monday Wyckoff streams as we continue to get into this. So, yeah. I mean, I don't care. I don't care if it takes a little while. I'm not envious of something else taking off. If I didn't see it, I didn't see it. I'm not going to go chase it after it goes. When I see something else that I'm already set up in. Why would I leave something that I've set up in for a good move up just to chase something that I didn't see or I didn't notice or did better than what I thought it would and took off? That's a waste of money. I'm almost guaranteed to lose money on that. It doesn't make sense, guys, okay? And again, those of you that have been around, but if you're new, I just want you to understand that I'm not telling you this to be rude or disrespectful or anything. I'm doing this because it's important that you understand these things and get to this better way of thinking. Otherwise, man, you're just going to be SOL so often. You're going to force yourself to lose money that you don't have to lose. Don't want to do that. Justin Time says, still very few charts with volume and Wyckoff schematics together. Kind of funny. Yeah, exactly. Because Most people don't know. They just see, oh, here's a schematic, and look at how perfect it looks like it. And most of those turn out not the way they want them to. There's absolutely no recognition of volume. And I'm going to tell you what, guys. If you see somebody online and they have one of those Wyckoff schematics, and then they try and show you on their chart here that it looks like, and they make absolutely no reference to what's going on with volume and price action, run away. Because it means nothing without the volume and price analysis. You cannot do Wyckoff without volume. It is required. Because your accumulation and your reaccumulation, or distribution and redistribution, all that, those are often going to look quite similar. Very, very similar. And it is what is going on with volume and price action that separates it within that range that tells you whether it's distribution or accumulation. But you're not going to get that from most of them people online, guys. So be careful with that, okay? If anybody ever just sticks a chart with a Wyckoff schematic, run the other way. Because they really don't know what they're doing. They're just hoping that's what it is. And guys, you know what? You're traders, right? There is no room to hope. There is no room to hope. You have to have a plan. And it has to be a technically valid plan with technically valid risk management and a technically valid stop loss and take profits and entries. It's not just simply looking here and go, oh, I think I'm going to get in there, and I think I'll put my stop loss maybe over there. And I'm going to put my take profit, I don't know, maybe up there. God, you're just asking to lose money. Learn to do it, guys. It takes work, it takes effort, but it's not impossible. Every one of y'all, if you are just of normal, whatever normal is today, normal psychological, you're okay, you know, whatever. There's no reason you can't learn to do this. It's not that difficult over the end of the day. It just takes time and effort. It takes a commitment to learn it and a commitment to the time it takes to practice. But most new traders aren't about that. They came into the market, and maybe this is going to ring true with some of y'all. You came into the market because it was FOMO and you heard about it, right? Maybe you heard about Dogecoin recently, or Bitcoin, or Ethereum, right? Or Shibu, or some other stupid trash coin like that, right? And you saw one person or two people where they're like, oh man, I made all this money, right? And you thought, man, if they can do it, man, I could probably do it. I'd love to get that. You're already spending it before you've made it, right? The problem is you didn't hear about the 99% that didn't make any money with it, that lost their shirts on it because they didn't know what they were doing. And then you became one of them, right? It doesn't have to be that way. That leads to that happening, which means in your own trading, guys, in your own trading, once you're in, don't be impatient. Impatience is what brought you in, thinking that you could just make all this crazy money right away, like overnight, like that, right? And then you kind of continue that on with your trading. So you're trying to do that. So every trade, you know, you get bored or you get scared, and so you jump in or jump out. No real plan. You can't be a trader with that, guys. You're going to lose your money. And so something I've told everybody for the last, what have I been doing since 2018 live? So 19, 20, 21, about the last 3 years, a little bit over 3 years now. I'm going to tell you the same thing I've said consistently through that time. If that is your mindset and that's what you're doing, and you have no intention of wanting to learn to trade properly or wanting to change the way you're thinking because you think, oh my gosh, that guy is an idiot, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and I can make all that money overnight. I'm telling you right now, take your money out of the market. Go do something where you can create memories with people that you care about, or even by yourself. Because when you're on that deathbed, nobody ever sat there and said, man, I wish I had spent 5 more hours on the chart. You start playing over all those memories that you have with yourself, with your family, with your loved ones. That means more than anything. So if you're not serious about trading properly, man, you need to get out. And see, and I say this, and I know 90 somewhat plus % of y'all listening, that are in that mindset are going to ignore me completely. You're going to think I don't know what I'm talking about. You're going to think you know how to beat the system, that you can do it, that you're going to be that person. And I'm going to tell you what, you are likely not going to be that person. So if the odds are skewed so heavily against you in that manner, why would you do it? Why would you waste your money? Don't do that. You deserve better than that for yourself. Respect your money. You had to do something to get that money. You had to, and I hope to God it wasn't illegal in such a way that you were hurting people and whatnot. But think about it. At the end of the day, you had to go get an education. You had to, whether it's college, vocational, or on-the-job training, you had to get some kind of education. You had to take time doing that job to get to the point that you could do the job and make money. And then you had to exchange hours of your life to get that money. Hours you could have been doing other things. So have respect for your money. Don't just throw it on things that are just, 2 seconds, it's gone. I don't think people really in general think enough about that. But I want you guys to do that. Because otherwise, people like me, we're going to take your money left and right. Not because we hate you or whatever, but because you're just jumping into a game that you don't understand how it's played or how to do it, and you're not taking the opportunity to learn how to do it, and you're just goofing off, and you've got silly ideas of what it means to be a trader and to do it. I mean, you're just going to get caught up in the mechanism that's going on, guys. You're going to be liquidity. And again, I know I sit here and I talk about it, and I know most of y'all that are in that mindset are going to completely ignore me. Happens every time. You're not special in that way. You're going to ignore me just like most everybody else did. And then you'll find out. Don't do that. Now, I want y'all to learn how to trade, to really want to learn how to trade, but if that's not your intention, get the heck out. You're not going to get that lucky. The odds are stacked so far against you. I think people in general have a real difficult time understanding risk that they take. I don't think people really in general understand how to measure risk. And that's why they're always in there doing this, because they think they're going to be that one. Or they think everybody can do that and just make all that money like that. And it's always the other way around. Let me see here. Oh, want to become famous, guys. What a bunch of idiots. Those are idiots, guys. Let me see here. Chum in the water, what's up, man? Says last October, every guru on Twitter talking about this cycle, they are going to take more profit than 2017. Now they are talking about how they should have taken profit at the top. Green, yeah. I mean, it's just a repeat. It happens over and over again. And it's not that they're bad people or anything. It's just that they're human beings. And they haven't, they haven't done, they haven't taken charge of what they're doing the way they should. That's all. It's unfortunate, but, without people doing that, we wouldn't have liquidity to move price, really. So there's that. But the way I see it, I reach very few people. I don't have a very large reach online. And so I figure if you're here, I'm going to be as blatant, as direct as I can about this, in the hopes that at least a few of y'all will catch on and you'll take it to heart. And you'll either get out so you don't lose that money so you can use it to do great things that you'll have great memories and experiences about, or that you'll take the time to actually learn. Truthfully, really learn. So that's my hope. Halftime with a score no American understands. Let me see here. Diego, what's up, man? He says, crypto Twitter just compares pictures of Wyckoff patterns to what they see. Just obvious visual criteria. Yeah, it's true, man. It's true. He says, after watching Chris, me, for some time, it finally clicked to me the chart is telling a story that you need to read. And just looking at a stupid picture won't tell you much. Exactly. But Chris, what if we only have a small amount of money? Can we still do the proper risk management while we have a good amount of profit? See, now there's the problem. So here's the reality of trading, guys. To trade successfully, you should really have, I'm going to be honest with you, and you're not going to like this. Most of y'all are not going to like this. You should have a capital account that's 50 to 80 grand. And you should have a minimum of 6 to 8 months of your bills, of money for your bills in savings if you want to trade. Okay? Now, why do we say that? Because that will get you the position sizes that you want to get the profits that you maybe are looking at. You can trade with a smaller amount. That's fine. But you need to understand it's going to take you longer to get where you're going to get. But time and compounding gets you there. And the longer you do it and the more compounding that happens, the more profits that you take along the way, the larger your position size comes, which means the more profit you can take, compounding time, and your curve starts to look, like this here. Well, I can't do it right there, but like there. So at first, it's just a little bit, right? And as time goes, that compounding keeps adding in and adding in. And the further you go with time and compounding, the more significant that curve becomes quicker. But if you've got a small account, stop trying. If you got a $1,000 account, guys, stop trying to turn that into $1 million this year or this month. I'm not saying you can't, because if you trade correctly in a trend, it doesn't have to be bull, it can be a bear trend as well. You can make, you can keep taking profits along the way. That's that compounding. And then you larger position next time, and it keeps building up like that. And as long as you're trading in that trend there and the trend's strong, you can make a lot of money in a shorter period of time. But you need to get it out of your head that you're going to turn $1,000 or $500 into $1 million this year. But here's the thing, guys. Again, I keep telling you this every time. Let's say it takes you 5 years to get where you want, or 10 years to get where you want financially. Whatever it is, $1 million, $10 million, whatever, right? So what? What would you be doing in the next 3, 5, 10 years anyway? You'd be doing the working that you're doing anyway, and you wouldn't have that potential to have that wealth where you want it. It all starts up here, guys, when you're trading. It all starts in your head. You have to accept, understand, and trade appropriately. And I know a lot of you don't want to hear that. You want to become rich yesterday because you hear the stories of these people and that people. You hear stories of me, for instance. I got lucky with XRP. I mean, I bought it because I bought it where I wanted to in 2017, right? So it wasn't lucky that I bought it there, but it was lucky that it went up as far as it did that year. Getting it at just over half a cent and then selling it up there at around an average of around 260 or 280 when it went up to 325, right? Doesn't matter, it went up to 325. I bought it at half a cent and sold it 260, 280 average. But that doesn't happen all the time. And that's what you need to understand. Because you don't get that when you're first watching online, you see somebody say something like that. All right? But yeah. So, you just have to be realistic about it. And then just, again, tell yourself, you know what? Well, if I wasn't doing this over the next 3, 5, 10 years or whatever, what would I be doing anyway? And the answer is you'd still be working what you're doing. You're working, right? At least with this, you have the opportunity while you're doing that to build up this huge wealth position for yourself, potentially. And then you can stop doing that type of work that you're doing if you don't want to do it anymore. Or I know some people who trade pretty well and they enjoy what they do. They just hate that it's so low paying. They love what they do, the job they do, but they just want more income, more wealth. And so trading allows them to continue doing their job that they love to do, but it gives them the wealth and, kind of position that they're looking for. Let me see here. Let me see here. Trying to catch up with you guys here. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's really the answer. And I know it's not what you want to hear, man. I know it sucks when you think about it. But the cool thing is, years down the road, if you're doing this properly, You look back on there and you look at what you built. And now you've got a story. Now you can tell people, listen, I was doing this right here, but man, look what I'm doing now. Look at what it's done for me. Look at where I'm at for the rest of my life now. And that's a pretty cool story. That's a pretty cool story. Let me see here. What's up, Jordan? Win 38 Dow after 37,999. Let me see here. Let me see here. Kind of catch up with you guys here. Hank says, but fees, you have to account for fees. So the lower your ante, the more you get, the more you need to trade responsibly. Every entry and exit costs money. Stop loss aren't free. Yeah. I mean, it's all part of the whole risk management. Yeah, exactly. You got to know what you're doing. You got to make sure your trade's worth it. Is your trade that you're getting in worth the cost associated with getting it in and out of that trade? Or if you're trading Forex, if you're trading the FX market, you're not going to pay commissions on entries and exits. You're just going to pay that small spread. So you got to make sure it makes sense for you, what it costs to get in. Let me see here. I'm kind of catching up with you here. All right. So anyway, yeah. So, that's the kind of thing here, right? Let me think here. What else can I tell you? Oh, so let's go ahead and jump here real quick, man. It is hot here. Whew, I'm sweating, guys. Can't wait for that AC repair tech. Can't get here soon enough today, I'll tell you. So DXY here, it looks like it went a little bit higher than my target. Looks like it's going toward the secondary target up that way. So possibly wave through right there. At the end of the day, the idea is we are still heading higher. So we'll still be looking up. We've hit our pattern target over here. You can see we just hit that. So we're good to go on that. Looking for a breakout above here. We're basically wave 5 heading up here now. As long as the DXY keeps going up, eventually that kind of keeps putting pressure on other things. But remember, guys, just because you get this move here doesn't mean everything else has to immediately move down there. It takes time. The dollar moves up in strength, right? And so then people have to decide when it's moving up too much for them, when they need to get out of their positions and move to safety, move into the dollar, whatever. So it's, again, a lot of people, they get really upset because it doesn't necessarily move right away, right? Like just because this goes up, something doesn't just drop all right away. Unless it's a strong move, then you'll usually get initial reaction with it. But overall, it builds pressure on the price, a downward pressure on prices. And so, how long it takes to go up is how determined people are to continue holding their other positions, their other long positions against the dollar. So, nonetheless, though, still looking for continued move up here. Oh, man, yeah. Thoughts on the new Texas crypto-friendly legislation? Yeah, Abbott's kind of friendly toward crypto. Again, we've got all that wind power and everything here. More of it coming. You can set those miners right up on the where this energy is being produced. You can set them up right there on site. I think again. It's a good area here because of the pro-business side of it here in Texas. Florida is kind of like Texas, but a bit more redneck, which is why we have all the Florida people memes out there. And I can say that because I've lived in Florida too. There's a lot of potential for it. Again, man, if you haven't been paying attention, Austin is the largest over the past 10 years, the fastest growing metropolitan area. It's about to take out, I think it's only about 1,800 people or 18,000 people away from the number 10 spot for the largest city in the U.S. And, right down the road, we're here in San Antonio, which has almost 2 million people around that. We're way up there as well. And then, of course, right down the road is Houston, which is up there like in the top 4 or something, with its 2 point whatever million people. And then Dallas-Fort Worth up there, So there's a very pro-business climate here in Texas. And then you got the big guys like Tesla and whatnot making their moves to Austin. So that encourages other companies to make here, which means there's more pressure on the Texas legislature to continue to be pro-business. So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to draw more and more people in over here, I think, for sure. Let me see here. More big energy drains on the Texas power grid sounds like a very bad idea. There's so much, for personal properties here, there's so much solar energy. If you ever take a drive through housing areas here in San Antonio, especially, well, I guess I should say in the 300,000 and above kind of area, maybe even 400,000 above. So then there's a lot of that here. You'll see a significant number of homes have solar power on there. So, that helps the grid some, because we can sell it back. Like the home I'm in here has a solar power, so we can, sell the extra back to the grid and whatnot if we want to. So, there's always that as well. And then, of course, more and more wind farms kind of being built and whatnot. A buddy of mine works in the wind farms. He's a tech, so he climbs up however many ridiculous feet that is. I ain't got no fear of heights. I've got a fear of that sudden stop at the bottom of a fall. That's what I fear. But he climbs these things hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet in the air every day doing that. I know lately he's been having a lot of work too. I think today is his 21st or 22nd day straight he's been working. Climbing them things, man. Whew. It's a lot of work. Set up a beautiful mining facility over there in Midland, Texas. Man, I'll tell you what, Midland is one of my least favorite places in Texas, I'll be honest. Man, oh man, but I tell you what, when the oil boom is in, Midland becomes per capita the highest per capita county in the country. Yeah. Yeah, higher than over there in Connecticut and New York and all that, and California and all that. When the oil booms are going. Hello? You guys got it there? Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for letting me know about that. I didn't notice that it wasn't coming through there. Thankfully, we were able to get it done. Man, oh man. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I don't even know where I was when that happened. I apologize. Let me kind of catch here. Let me see about how far that was. Let me see here. Yeah, if we can get our property taxes down, that'd be nice, right, Mason? But here in Texas, of course, you can do the ag exemption, right, or the homestead exemption. So that helps out a lot, that kind of stuff. All right, I didn't really say anything too important there, guys. LXT, which way is that Great British Pound going? Is it going? You said it's rolling over. Is it rolling over downward now? Heading lower? I think that's what you mean, maybe? Anyway, so there we go, again, with the DXY going on there. TLT, that's our bonds, guys. It's our long-term government securities. We talked about the fact here at the beginning of the week. Wave 4 completed. We rallied right up here. Big boost up. Gap up there. Pull back. It's above the pivot. It should stay above the pivot. Based on the height of this descending channel here, Pattern target's up there around 146.05. Wave 5 has a target up here of about 149. That's wave 5 of 3. Remember, if TLT is moving up, the market's becoming more and more insecure. It's becoming more and more fearful. They're getting scared. The risk environment's turning more to risk off. And if it's risk off, that means the money leaves the risky assets. It leaves the stock market. It leaves crypto and whatnot. So we'll see how this plays out with it for sure. But remember, it doesn't happen at the same time, guys. Remember, it doesn't happen immediately. People are going to hold on until they're just going to decide they're not going to hold on anymore. But nonetheless, it is going up there. TLT versus junk. Let me see here. Let's see. There we go. Oh, man, I got those hiccups. Man. All right, TLT junk here. What we got going on? Yeah, so a little bit of pullback here. Come on, get up here. A little bit of pullback here. So this is 3 waves up. Now, what I talked about is this 3 waves up. We may have further to go. This may not be it. We may have this drop down. So if it drops down here below this swing low, we're looking for it to get down here to the S1, down this area. So that's what I'm kind of looking at the moment here. Because this could potentially be, you know, A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you get a 5 down here. So if you're wondering, if you see the TLT and you go, why, you know, that's going up, but, you know, Bitcoin isn't, you know, what if, you know, what if your Wyckoff is, you know, what you're looking at there, BF Wyckoff, it turns out to be correct, then, you know, Bitcoin should be going up. So what do you make of that, Chris? Well, again, we don't have any confirmation yet that that this bottom is in. You know, we're still sitting well below the weekly pivot here. So again, this could just be, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives you A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Let me see here. If I was looking at that, 23.6 right now. It could continue up to the 38.2, but again, she's got this little gap right here from back around the 16th of February, that week there, that it almost hit there. It's where it got stopped at, right about that gap area, which is also this gap area. You notice this right here on the weekly? Look at that right there. Gaps up, comes back down, and then gaps down below that where it gapped up at right there. So this is not an island reversal because the gaps are not aligned. Remember, to be an island reversal, your gaps need to be across from each other. The gap is below the previous gap, so don't have to worry about that there as far as that goes. Oh, your Great British Pound USD now has a stop in profit. Accidentally added an extra 0 to your position size. Man, I still do that occasionally, guys. Don't think you'll ever not do it, guys. I still, if I'm not paying enough attention, if I'm doing a lot of other work here, and then want to get a position in or something, I might actually add too much of a size too. So it happens still sometimes. It sucks when it happens, but it's good that it's at least in profit there. Now, yeah, Qs are up. All-time high, which is, of course, pulling, you know, you've got those tech sector, which is really what's pulling up the NASDAQ, because NASDAQ's tech heavy. SPX is, you know, tech-friendly, I guess you could say. It's got a lot of tech in it. It's nowhere near as tech-heavy as NASDAQ, but, yeah, it's got a pretty good bit. Dow Jones, of course, as we continue to say, is more broad-based. So it's lagging behind the other two significantly at the moment. So, yeah, we'll see. Let me see here. So, yeah, so we've got this going on. Let's see. If we look over here, let's see if I can get this up. Come on. Sorry, guys. Running a little slow here at the moment. Discord is for me. All right, Discord. Here we go. All right. So if we take a quick look at oil here, oil's not looking too friendly at the moment if you're driving anywhere. Here in the U.S., especially. I've got this sitting like it is at the moment. So right now, potentially wave 1 and 2 of wave parentheses 5. But if this drops on down, if this continues on down here below wave 4, that makes this likely, you know, like a ABC is a 1, 2, ABC is a 3, 4, ABC is a 5 as an ending diagonal for wave parentheses 5 there. So we're kind of waiting to see, do we get the breakout above wave B here? Do we get the breakdown below wave 4? If it does break down below wave 4, we're looking at this as an A and then a B and then a C. So you'll get that B coming down to around $68 to $70. Should have it going up. Grand scheme of things, let's see here. Grand scheme of things, I think there's a good chance with how much this is rallying at the moment. Well, right now here on the weekly, you can see we've got these lower highs. We get the higher highs here in price. So we get that bearish divergence on the weekly, and we're up here in overbought for Stochk RSI. And as you can see on the weekly, we just moved in sideways between the pivot and the R1. But I think based on the way we're going here off this May 2020 low, we don't have enough room to show it all on there. Oh, there it is, way down here. Remember that from May? Coming up off that, I think it's possible we may see maybe 140, 180 maybe before it comes back on down. So like this would be A, this would be B, and then we'd have a C coming down, which means quite possibly another negative print. But that would be a while off if that's the case. That would be a while off if that's the case. But yeah, I mean, so you know, I mean, it's possible. A lot depends on what goes on in this area here. But right now, you know, it's been a good ride up. Made a lot of money coming off of May. People have. So we'll see how I continue pushing out. You know, again with gas prices, you know, they're up, I think, 90 cents since last summer, I think, here in the U.S. on average. So, and of course in the U.S., for all those of you across the water over there, you know, ours are in gallons. I know y'all are in liters over there. But yeah. Aramith, is that what that is there? It says, did a backwards Uniswap yesterday. Sold when you thought you bought and realized an hour later. Oh, man. That's even worse when you don't notice it right away. And you just kind of casually look back on it a little bit later and you're like, what the heck would I do? Oh, man. And then you start looking at ways on the chart to kind of justify and say, okay, well, maybe it's going to do this and it'll come back down, right? You got to be careful with that. It's so dangerous. Let me see here. Levian, what's up? It says oil is $8 a gallon in Europe. Really? You laugh at our gas prices and raise you 3 times? Oh, man. Asim Risk, what's up, man? Good to see you checking in. It's just funny how quickly bias can flip. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that gasoline, $8 Oh, gas is $8 a gallon. I got you. I knew what you were saying. I sat there and read what you wrote, but I knew what you were saying. Yeah. $8 a gallon for gas over there. Yeah, you know, and over here in the U.S., I mean, you know, over there in Europe, you guys can drive to like 3 different countries in a day. You know, you can do the whole France, Germany kind of thing. Here, you know, it takes you a day just to get through Texas. Yeah, so it's good times, right? Right? Let me see here. Silver, man. Let me check silver. I know some of you guys are still holding on to hope that silver is going up. Let's see here. So silver finally broke down. It dipped just below wave 3 here. So looking for a wave 5 of 3 parentheses right here around 24,595. That's where I'm kind of looking at there. You can see it caught a bid right here around the S1, rallied back up to the ascending channel resistance. But looking for it to probably get rejected in this area and then continue heading down there. But, you know, big picture still stands, guys. My big picture right now says we've got an ABC up here for B, and then we're going to have 5 down for C, right? But as I told you guys, there's also the possibility that you've got an A, B, C, D, and this is E finishing here. And if that happens, then price should go up to about $35 or so. But then that'll finish B, and then we'll have C down. But again, the one thing that really makes me cautious about that, as I pointed out, is this. This is the daily here. See this large volume spike area right here? That's a lot of supply coming in, and it sent price back down. There was follow through. So when you're getting that kind of huge supply spike at the top, that's often a signal that that's a distribution area. As you can notice here with the volume as well, you've got the spikes all along the way here. You remember I told you with your accumulation, you want to generally overall the volume to head down. Remember when we were looking at Bitcoin? You generally want to see volume overall, the spikes and everything smaller and smaller. Distribution, I told you usually see these other spikes all throughout it. So that's what we're having here. Spike, spike. So I'm real iffy about this being a triangle. If it breaks down below this swing low right here at $23.74, that will invalidate this because you have an A here, B here, C here, D here, and this would be E, and E cannot drop below C in a symmetrical triangle. So if it drops below that level, then it says, okay, well, most likely this count is probably in play here, heading down lower there. And again, that should take price down $10, a little bit less maybe even, as it gets down there. That's the idea right now anyway. Let me see here. Hi there, Pamela. What's going on? It says, what is the name of the indicator in your system? It looks like the pivot level. Oh, yeah, the S1. Yes, pivots. Those are pivots. Yes. Yeah. So these right here, these are the pivots. And I don't go all crazy with it. I just use traditional pivots. So if we go in here, inputs, you can, all the different kinds. And there's different ways to use these. I've taught some to our Tier 3 members over the last year. But for me, I just, I come from a pivots background, really just trading traditional pivots. That's all I traded for a few years there. And so that's all I use, traditional pivots. I'm not interested in historical pivots, just the current ones. And I work with that. Auto time frame. So, it works with the time frame you're on. Nothing else really did. I color my pivots, sometimes my S and R1s and S and R2s, because that's your main meat there. If you're just using traditional pivots, guys, this is the area you're interested in. Above that means you're heading up probably to R5. Drop below here, you're probably headed to S5. But as long as you're within here, this is your setup for a breakout or a breakdown in that area there, usually. Usually. Not all the time, but usually. It's really the continuation breakout above R3 or S3. But like if you use Camarilla pivots, it's these lower pivots or these upper pivots that you're interested in. This is your nothing range here. So, yeah. Let me see here. So again, silver's going down, gold's following. Silver has been leading gold more than anything. Gold's been lagging. Even here, silver made the higher push up here. Gold couldn't do it. Gold got caught in the range. It's got a good breakdown, a nicer breakdown below wave 3 here. Looking for a wave 5 at 17.05 and 40 cents now, as it continues getting down through there. Let's see here. Pamela, you're very welcome. Thank you for asking that question. Let me see here. I've got, I guess we can just jump on here to, we were talking about, I didn't show it, the NASDAQ. NASDAQ. All right, let's get all this other stuff out of the way here. NASDAQ finally getting up here and hitting my wave 5 of 3 target area right here around the R1 pivot. I'll break down below this red line here at about 14,435 or so. Should indicate that wave 4 is in progress down toward this green box, which is around 14,250 or so to about 14,310, 14,320, around that area. And then that should take you probably, I'm thinking R2 pivot for a wave 5. Let me see. Yeah, potentially right up here around 14,660 or so up to the R2 pivot there. Now you could always have, a bit of a, explosive up thrust there that takes it up toward the channel resistance, but, basically that's where you'd be looking for it. But now we got to find a reversal here to drop on down below that red line. So we're looking for it about where we're at here. But as you can see, new all-time high over here, right? So we've broken out all-time high. And like I said, that's because techs are where the money is. And so they're the biggest, they're by far the biggest part of NASDAQ. And so if your, tech stocks are running up, your NASDAQ's going to run up. If we go to the, these are the S&P E-minis, so it's your SPX here. As you can see, it's also got new all-time highs here. Working on a wave 3 of 3 potentially, of 3 maybe. Now this one's a little bit more sketchy on the count, so we'll see how this plays out. But right now the target sits up here at around 43.01. Again, it's got a pretty heavy tech element in it, nowhere near like NASDAQ, but still pretty heavy. So it followed NASDAQ up and out. NASDAQ's leading. And then of course you got the Dow Jones here, which, as I said, is more balanced. And so it still remains well below the all-time high back up here. So, it's another $1,000 almost, $800 below, or 800 points, I'm sorry, 1,000 points below that all-time high. So right now it's still possible 1, 2, and you're working on 1, 2 here. Now today, we had this drop down yesterday, filled in the gap, bounced right above the pivot, rallied back up, gapped up again. And so it ran up right into this supply structure, this local 1-hour supply structure, which is this wick right here, and got rejected pretty heavily. It's heading back down, filling in this gap. But if you get a breakdown below this pivot, again, an impulsive breakdown, which is, there's no volume attached to this, but larger candle spreads popping down through that, that may be the first clue that the top is in here, and we're heading lower. Now, why is that important? That's important because when you get to the point of major market turns, often your indexes will not confirm. So you've got NASDAQ, which broke to a new high, and then you had the SPX, the EMP, S&P minis and all that kind of confirming that, right? Because they broke out to new highs. But then you have the Dow Jones, which is not moving out to new highs. And the thing you have to understand about that, again, think about what I told you. NASDAQ and tech, or NASDAQ especially, and then also, your SPX, have a lot of tech stocks in it. So if that's advancing and going to all-time highs, but the Dow Jones isn't, that means the money's only flowing to that one area. That means the economy's not very healthy. And so if the Dow Jones cannot follow with it, you have to be careful about further upside with that. That non-confirmation is often a signal that the top may be in. Now, sometimes it takes a while for the Dow Jones to follow, but again, if it cannot follow to new all-time highs, that tells us that the only reason the other ones went to the new all-time highs was because of tech, which is not a healthy economy. You can't get up on just a few tech stocks moving up. All right, I hope that makes sense, guys. Hank says in Europe, the mood is also divergent there. He says DAX is an all-time high almost. CAC 40 is down. AEX is all-time high. UK 100 is lower. Yeah, and that's the first thing you look for. And it again, it's not like, oh, it definitely says that the top's in, but it's something that you need to watch. Because we've shown it before in the last year where Dow Jones has just lagged. It hasn't, it just lagged following up. It eventually made a new all-time high. But, you do need to watch it when it happens with your indexes. And understand what's in your indexes, guys. Whether you're looking at, here in the U.S., or whether you're looking at the NASDAQ, the Russell, the S&P, the Dow, whatever. Make sure you understand what makes up that that index. So that way, if you're getting a divergence, you've got an understanding of what's going on in the economy. And that's where you get, your information. That's where you get this idea of maybe a top sin. Again, if all your money's, just centered on this one little thing, and the rest of the market's not following like that, then again, it tells you got to be careful if you're longing, for instance, NASDAQ and the S&P. For sure. HSI and the Nifty are significantly lower. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Makes sense. If you think about it, what's going on with it. If the economy's healthy, your broad-based indexes are going to continue to rise. You usually find you're getting to a top when one sector is rising, and that takes the indexes that are more the sectors that are more what's the word? That are more heavily involved in a specific index, that index will then take up higher. But if they're less involved with it and the overall economy is not doing the same thing as that sector, then you'll see that broader based index, for instance, the Dow Jones, not following with it. So yeah. So a lot to watch in there. Just, general things that you kind of look at with all that. Let's see here. God, I'm going to have to go in a minute here, guys. I am just sweating up a storm here, man. It's hot. Just a few more hours to the AC guys here. I just got to make it a few more hours. Appreciate you guys suffering through this with me or laughing at me or whatever you happen to be doing. It's all good. Let's see here. What's going on with Bitcoin? Is it still pushing up? It's trying to. It's still trying to here. So that's good to see. What's your 1 hour looking like? Your 1 hour is kind of toppy over here, but could still continue to push up higher. What's the 15 minute? 15 minutes got some room here. But we're also got this bit of bearish divergence showing. So as long as it can keep going and pull this this RSI up with it, it'll be fine. But if it can't pull that RSI up with it, we've got bearish divergence on the lower time frame, which at least gets us a lower time frame pullback with it. So yeah. Let's see. Go sit in the car with the AC on. No kidding, right? Except I got work for you guys to do, man. Right? I got work for TWC to do. Oh, by the way, hey, that reminds me. For those of you following along, especially if you're in Discord, this weekend is Independence Day here in the U.S., Independence Day weekend. So TWC offices will be closed Saturday and Sunday as usual, and then Monday as well, all right? So, Adam likes to check in sometimes, but, don't expect him necessarily to do so. He's got things he wants, I'm sure, to do with his family as well. So, if you've got some issue or something, you got questions, they're going to have to hold probably until Tuesday unless he happens to check in. I won't be in a position to check in. I'll be, spending the first July 4th holiday with family that I've spent in quite a long time, 10 plus years. So we're going to be doing that. But if you are tier 3, remember, we have our Wyckoff on Mondays, and so I'll just put that on a different time to the week. I'm thinking maybe Tuesday. Maybe it's a lot of live streaming. I could do the 2 hour stream that we're doing here, and then a few hours later do that. But we'll get it done that week and make sure that we're all good for you guys. You give me the day off. Oh man, I love you guys, man. Really, it is great. Copper exploded. Yeah, copper and a lot of the again, all these lumber, copper, all these things kind of exploded. And I've talked about that a few times throughout the year. Potentially inflationary spike prior to just like a head fake kind of thing. You get you some money there, and then it does the larger pullback. Yeah, gold and silver, the only things that really didn't go with it, right? Gold and silver just kind of chilling, or gold falling back more. So yeah, they're doing well. They're doing well. Thank you for asking. Yeah, they have their moments. Again, it's still everything's very real. And I think it's become more real that they've moved here now. For those of you that don't know, my brother-in-law passed away a few weeks back. And so I moved my sister and my nephew and my mom and all them down here with us. And it's been absolutely fantastic having them here. But, you know, they're doing well, but, you know, they have their moments. Like I said, especially with, you know, with being here, becomes real. They're not there anymore. So, yeah. So we work through it. Yeah. So I appreciate you asking, though. I'm encouraging my sister to, she started, my sister, those of you that don't know, is, she's an artist. So she started a children's book that she's writing and illustrating, and she kind of put it away when all this happened back a bit, you know, earlier this year. And so I'm trying to encourage her to finish up that. I think it would be an absolutely amazing thing. And if she does, which hopefully she will, I'll let you guys know where you can purchase it. Go for England? Are we excited? Is that good? Should I be going for England? Oh, man. Well, I appreciate you, Hank. Thank you for saying that. I don't know. I just, you know, it's what family does, right? You help out family. For me, family, you guys know, is very important. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm sorry I can't do a next half hour here, but I'm dying. I need to get out into a different room for a bit. Tier 3, I will be logged on here in just a bit and get, you know, chart requests and chart critiques. I see there's some there to get done. I'll get those done. Yeah. Man, I hope everybody's doing well, man. Seriously, guys, you know what? Here's the thing. Whether you agree with what I say about the markets, whether you join us or not at TWC, I really hope that all of y'all are doing well. Life, it is so fleeting. And it's just, we tend to get caught up in these daily things that we do. And, you know, we're only human. And next thing you know, a day goes by, a week goes by, a month go by, years go by, and you're like, what the heck happened? And so, you know, I just want to remind you guys to take some time away and spend time with family and friends and loved ones. Your pets, spend time with them. They're going to love you more for doing so than ignoring them, right? But really, life is fleeting, man. You know, tomorrow is never guaranteed. So, you know, be sure and take some time. The markets are going to be here. If you're a trader, it doesn't matter what happens when you're not there. All that matters is that there's volatility when you log in. So that way you've got something to trade, whether it's up or down. Other than that, make sure you spend that time with family, guys, all right? Thank you so much for joining in as always. As I said, remember, let me go ahead and kind of put this over here for you guys one more time. We've still got this going right now. You can still get in on Tier 3 with us. It's 50% off the annual Tier 3 rate, which is already discounted for the monthly rate. So this altogether will give you about almost 70% off the monthly rate. It's absolutely ludicrous, the price. It's just crazy. It's crazy low price. So if you've ever been thinking about it or considering it or whatnot, I'm telling you right now, this is the time to do it, because if we have a sale during Black Friday, it won't even be this good. There's just no way. So there it is. You guys have a great week. I will be back on Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And hopefully you guys can join me then. But if not, or hopefully if so, even, you can you pay for another month with this? It only works for the annual. It doesn't work for the monthly. Because, your monthly, if you pay month to month, is like $199. And on average, I think with this, it gets you down to something like $64 on average for your monthly. I mean, like I said, it's absolutely crazy how low it is. So yeah, the code only works for the annual. All right. Anyway, guys, hey, listen, I hope you guys have a great day. Like I said, remember, the only thing you can control in the market is how much you lose. That's it, right? So no matter all this stuff we talk at and we look at, by the way, notice we hit almost perfectly that 15-minute R3 pivot there. But no matter about all this, risk management is where you make your money, okay? So it is the most important thing you're ever going to do as a trader, day in and day out, bar none. All right? Have a great time, guys. Y'all take care. We'll see you later.